Welcome back to part 2 of our My Team career mode. For this episode we have switched the difficulty up to 100 and we are at Imola. We have a lot of ground to make up after the Bahrain Grand Prix. We switched to qualifying highlights, and as we are weaving through the Italian circuit, we have made a few tweaks to the car with some upgrades to our aero and our chassis, and we also have a new halo design which, looking back at it, I think is awful and is also very glitchy and doesn't suit the Jaguar car at all, but we will switch that up for the Grand Prix going forward, hopefully. We end up doing a very good time, finishing 13th in qualifying 1, and by the end of qualifying 2, as you can tell, this corner is a little bit tricky. We are too quick on the power, and it seems our chassis isn't quite good enough to withstand the barrier. Even though we crashed, we finished 15, still ahead of Giovinazzi, and our teammate Dan Tipton finished 17. Getting into qualifying 2 is enough progression for us though. It is a lights out and away we go. We don't get the best of starts and we're not getting up the gears quick enough. However, we hold position in front of Giovinazzi, slip behind Sonoda. This is a very, very tight circuit, so we have to remember we are down the inside of multiple cars. We now find ourselves, after this skirmish, in 14th. A little bit of progression, only up one place. We have no damage, and that is a positive. We now have to slip ourselves behind the pack and make sure we're not too rash with our braking zones. We go down the inside of multiple cars, hold the line nicely, and slip in behind Alonso. Going further into the race, going further into the first lap, we're going a bit wide, pushing ourselves a little bit too much. However, we have a virtual safety car, and it seems that Verstappen is the one who has become victim to some sort of incident within the race. We didn't get to see it on the replay, I'm afraid. But again, we come to the end of the virtual safety car. Green light, we are not quite close enough to Alonso to go down the inside. Very tight corner, would have been a risky move. However, we spin out. We get a bit too throttle heavy and we have spun. We got a bit too excited about our position in the race and we just overdid it. The car couldn't handle the throttle and we spun out. That is our own driver fault, a bit like in Bahrain. We have spun out again. Our own driver mistakes are causing us to drop down into where we shouldn't be, and unfortunately we have again lost out in the race. However, the race is not over. If someone told me that by the end of this race we would have finished ahead of Max Verstappen, I would not have believed them. We now move down to lap 7, where we were behind Mazepin, who we are getting all too familiar with, and Ocon has, as you just saw, DNF'd out the race. Unfortunately, a safety car has not been brought out. He managed to park it safely. We're getting way too familiar with these back markers in this race, in these Grand Prix. We are keeping it cool around these corners now, not spinning out in the same corner. We're holding our line behind Mazepin. We still have places to make up. We don't want to, again, lose our pride. So we're getting past Mazepin. We're going down the inside, easily past him, going into the first corner. Not taking any risks this time. Being a bit more gentle on the throttle. We have learnt our lesson. And by the end of lap 8, we're going into the pits now. We probably should have pitted earlier after we spun out. Try and go on for a one stop just on the hards. Well, we are still doing a one stop now, but if we pitted earlier, we could have caught up to the pack. But let's see how the pit stop goes. The pit crew pulling in for 2.2, which isn't bad, but it isn't amazing. It's still going to get us ahead, I think, of Giovinazzi. We'll have to see how it goes. As we pull out the pits, we are just about ahead of Giovinazzi, who was obviously behind us at the start of the race. So we haven't made too much progression. We are, again, sitting in 18th, and it's not going well for the start of this career mode. Hopefully we will show some progress going forward in the Grand Prix, because if anything, this is just matching Jaguar's previous results and poor form in Formula 1. Going further into lap 10, we have caught up to Latifi and Schumacher. We could still get higher than 16 plus if we manage to pull off some good overtakes now and not waste any more time sitting behind these cars. We've got DRS and in his slipstream, deploying ERS2. We fake it on the inside and go round the outside. We're holding the racing line. Latifi defended okay. but not too aggressively, and we're easily past him. Going further into lap 11, we're pushing. Not too hard though. Again, we managed to get around this corner this time without slipping. We're very, very close to Schumacher, looking like we can pull off a similar overtake to Latifi. However, again, on the same corner as qualifying 2, we have crashed out. This is our first retirement of the season. By the looks of our performances, there could be many, many more. However, again, there has to be a winner, and Hamilton pulls off a great race at Imola and finishes on the top. Perez second, Bottas third. We're going to have to show some improvements soon, because if not, we're going to fold just like the Jaguar team did in 2004. Our teammate finishes in 16th, and we are 21st. No points again for the Jaguar team. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for notifications.